Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone's doing well. First, I wanted to apologize for my recent absence. If you're not interested in this information, you can skip ahead a couple minutes to the video. Basically, I wanted to explain what's been going on. As many of you know, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease last year, and I was on the antibiotics, which is standard doxycycline, but for me, it's been sort of chronic Lyme disease, and it came back. It was causing me a lot of symptoms that I wasn't really attributing to Lyme disease because I had sort of forgotten about it, but I was having a lot of nerve pain, joint pain, terrible time sleeping. In fact, I went days without sleeping. I ended up in the hospital, and that's where I was in the hospital for about 10 days, and it was just really rough. Basically, this is a picture I just wanted to show you. I know it's kind of gross. On the top left-hand side, that's the size of the deer ticks that we have here in Virginia. They're just so small, it's almost impossible to see them. I mean, even when you're very cautious, if you live a very outdoor life here on the East Coast, even when you take precautions, it's very prevalent for people to get it. In any event, I just wanted to let everyone know I had not forgotten about you guys, and I feel horrible when I can't upload. Anytime that happens, please be aware that it's not like I'm ignoring you guys or I've forgotten. It's just something that has happened where I physically can't. I am going to make up for it this video. Today, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information about what's been going on. We're also going to be talking about a very, very strange disappearance that occurred back in 2014. Two other housekeeping things I wanted to do in the beginning, just because I know a lot of people don't listen to the end, and I really wanted everybody to know about these things. This year I'm going to be accepting your photographs, your pictures from your outdoor adventures or your hiking experiences for next year's merch calendar. I'm going to have the email in the description. As always, you can email me your pictures and what month you'd like it to be. I'll be going through them each month, and if I pick your picture for that month, you'll obviously get a credit on the actual calendar. You'll also receive a free calendar. The calendar is basically going to be 6 months of my pictures and 6 months of pictures that have been submitted by you all. So I'm really looking forward to that. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. Since you guys all love the coin giveaway, and as many of you know, I collect precious metals. I love silver coins, things like that. There's the Native American reservation that makes a very limited mintage of 500 coins per state. I'm going to have some pictures up here of what I'm talking about. That's going to be an upcoming giveaway for each state. So there's going to be one coin per state. If I can get, enough donations and views on the channel in order to do such a giveaway. But I thought it would be a really cool thing, and we'll talk about how we might go about winning those coins and that sort of thing. So let's get into today's video. Today's video takes us back to the great state of California in the year of 2014, August to be more specific. We're going to be talking about the disappearance of Arvin Walter Nelson, who disappeared on August 6th of 2014 in Ventana Wilderness, which is part of Los Padres National Forest in California. This is a relatively large area. It's very popular. Arvin was only 51 years old when he began this solo backpacking trip. It was going to be for roughly 10 days, but he was a very, very experienced hiker. He knew the area. He was a very well-liked man. He was in this area for a long time. At the time, he was working as a server at the Big Sur River Inn, which is pictured here. He never wasted any of his time. In his free time, he was a substitute teacher in Los Gatos, California, during many parts of the year. He was also taking classes at the Monterey Peninsula College for marine biology. This is that college right here, pictured here. He was just very good at using his time wisely. He had always had an interest in marine biology. That's why he was taking these classes. Now, I'm not sure what his future plans were. I know that he liked to visit the Eastland Hot Springs, which is pictured here. This is an area near Big Sur where he would actually go and soak in these tubs in the middle of the night, like at 3 a.m. Which, again, I'm not familiar with this area, but apparently that's a very common thing for people to do. These are some other pictures of and in and around the area where Arvin was going hiking and where he subsequently went missing. I'm going to have some maps up as always, but it is a little confusing. But Pfeiffer Big Sur State Park is part of Monterey County, California. It's south of Carmel. It's approximately 4.7 square kilometers or 1,000 acres. And for some reason, it has gotten the nickname Mini Yosemite. The Ventana Wilderness, which is part of Los Padres National Forest as discussed, and where the Pine Ridge Trail is, which is where he was planning on doing a bunch of his hiking, that area is roughly 240,000 acres. Arvin is a big man. He was 51 years old at the time. He is 6'3" and 200 pounds. He was last seen wearing brown hiking boots, carrying a dark blue backpack and leather flip-flops. He has black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen on August 6th of 2014. We're going to get into more of the details of that. We do know that he was dropped off by a friend at China Camp, which is not that far from where the Pine Ridge Trail is. It's on the eastern side of the Ventana Wilderness, which includes parts of the Pine Ridge Trail. I know this is kind of confusing. That's why I'll have as many maps up as possible. This was an area that he had never actually visited before, and it's also very, very dense vegetation, or at least it was at the time. Here's a picture of some people trying to get across the Big Sur River. Apparently it's very treacherous. It's very thick, it's very overgrown. Most of the trail signs are either broken or incorrect. As you can see, there's logs and rocks everywhere. That said, we do know that Arvin had food and water enough to last him at least a week from the time he was supposed to be gone, which was August 6th to the 14th. And the trail he was taking was only roughly 23 miles with a total elevation gain of about 5,500 feet. Arvin had made his family aware that if he did not show up as agreed on the 14th, that they were to notify the authorities, which is exactly what happened. He did not show up, and by August 16th, the search and rescue authorities were called in. Monterey County Sheriff's Office was in charge of the investigation. However, at some point, they brought in the U.S. Forest Service, the California Highway Patrol, as well as the Coast Guard. At some point, they had over 3 helicopters. At the height of the investigation, or search and rescue if you will, they had between 30 and 50 ground searchers every day searching for Arvin. They were conducting various investigations, and what they came to realize was that on August 6th, Arvin had arbitrarily run into this man by the name of Jack English, who was living isolated alone in this cabin for roughly 13 years in the Ventana Wilderness. As reported to the authorities, apparently Arvin was walking by and heard Dennis, who was Mr. English's son, playing a guitar inside. This is what lured Arvin over to knock on their door. Apparently the men all hit it off. They hung out for several days. Apparently Dennis and his father Jack were living in this cabin, and they were building these $2,000 guitars, which they would go and then sell. I'm not sure exactly how this all worked. Basically, what they reported to the authorities was they hung out with Arvin for 2 days. They showed them the different guitars that they had made. Arvin seemed to be fascinated with this. They played him songs. They talked around campfires. However, roughly 2 days later, the father and son, they had to leave, and they were picked up by a helicopter. Now on August 8th, apparently Arvin said that he was going to stay in the cabin if they didn't mind. He told them that he was planning on staying there for maybe a couple days, maybe until the 9th of August. Then he was going to hike roughly the 12 miles to Sykes Hot Springs. To me, this all sounds very bizarre, but apparently the authorities understood, and they said that because they knew that Arvin had so many supplies with him, they kept sending ground teams out. They kept sending more search and rescue people out. However, over the course of the next few weeks, they scoured the 10-mile trail from Big Sur Station to Sykes Hot Springs, which is actually no longer there because they were man-made. They were natural hot springs, but man had then created like wooden boards, which was illegal, so I don't believe that there's any access there anymore. According to the research and other people that have looked into this story, The backcountry there is very dense. However, it is also very popular, especially at that time. So people would have thought they would have run into him, or at least found some of his gear, something, anything, maybe a sign of a campsite. Nobody found anything. Literally, it was like he just vanished off the face of the earth. The other thing is that since that time, there have been a crazy amount of wildfires that have torn through that area and have basically wiped out that whole Sykes Hot Springs area, some of the other trails, some of the heavy winter storms that have come through since, and then the subsequent snowmelt and mudslides have caused all kinds of damage. So if he were to have sustained an injury, his remains possibly could have been washed away or something like that. But it is just so crazy that not one piece of evidence, not anything, was ever found, and Arvin was never heard from again. Here's this man who was very responsible, took all the precautions, took a ton of gear with him, took extra food and water with him, arbitrarily comes across this cabin. Then all of a sudden he's never heard from again. Now, I'm not saying that they had anything to do with it. There's lots of theories out there. People think everything from an animal attack. However, with animal attacks, there's usually evidence of that. And after he went missing, they did a very, very hard target search of in and around that area. Had posters and flyers up for months and months. Foul play is obviously another theory. People that live in and around that area at the time, they said that there were a lot of illegal growing operations and things like that in the wilderness and parts of the trail, that these people would often bother hikers and things like that. Again, it's hard to say because this is all secondhand and we just don't know what happened. The only thing that we do know are the facts that the authorities collected at the time. And personally, I just think it's very bizarre that you run into this random cabin in the woods where they're making guitars, and then all of a sudden this man disappears. And again, I'm not accusing them. I'm not saying they had anything to do with it. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave me a comment with your ideas or what you think might have happened. I want to dedicate this video to Arvin Walter Nelson, his friends, his family, everyone who knew and loved him and is still looking for answers. I hope and pray that you will find and get those answers soon. I want to thank you all for watching and thank you all for your patience. I really appreciate all your understanding, and I do apologize I haven't been able to upload my normal schedule, but I am back. I will be getting back to my regular schedule. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I just wanted to say thank you again for your patience and all your support. I will have my PayPal, my address, and my Venmo in the description. If any of you would like to donate $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever it is, it all goes such a long way. And unfortunately, as you could probably understand, I've incurred a lot more medical bills and other stuff that I wasn't planning on, which happens, but I just wanted to say thank you to all. You guys are all just great, and I appreciate all your support so much, and I look forward to your submissions for the next year's calendar and working with you all on that. As far as the coins, I wanted to give you a little bit more info on that. I'm still working out the details. Even if I'll be able to do it, I'm not sure. Like I said, if I get enough donation or enough views. The idea would be that the funds getting the coins for the channel, that would be going towards helping fight various crimes that have occurred on the Native American reservations. And then you all would win those coins in various ways. We can discuss that. I really haven't worked out the details. I just wanted to discuss it with you because I thought it would be something that you all might be interested in. They are beautiful coins. They are a very limited mintage. There's only 500 per state. So please let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd be interested in. I will be returning to my regular upload schedule, as well as the Brian's Bedtime Stories. That should all be returning to normal this week. I would love to hear from you. I really miss you all. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you again for all your support. Thank you again for your comments. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.